Okay, what's up everyone? Welcome to the channel. So what I'm going to be doing today is putting together a little video for removal of the rear bumper here on a 370Z. If you look behind me, you may already notice, you can already see that the first step of this has been completed, and that is to remove both of these rear tail lamps. In order to do that, I made a separate video of that so that I don't have to make this one so long. So I'll put a link up somewhere here on the screen. So before you get started, go ahead and go check out that link as well. You can open it up in a separate window or something, have both of them going. But before you dive into the actual bumper removal phase of this procedure, you're going to need to go ahead and remove both of these rear tail lamps, which will also have you removing some of the interior plastic molding. You can see here it's kind of dark, but that's also removed in order to give you access to these tail lamps. So go ahead and check that video out, then jump back over here and we'll dive into the actual specifics for this bumper removal. So see you in a second. Okay, hopefully you checked that out. Hopefully you're back. You have your tail lamps removed, and now let's dive into the actual procedure to remove the bumper. It's pretty simple. It's just a few connectors and tabs that we need to remove, and then the whole thing will kind of just pull off. I'm going to attempt to do it by myself. The book recommends that you do it with two people. I have something, a rolling chair for the other side that's just the right height to hold that side of the bumper up while I remove this side. But let's go ahead and get started. We'll start the easiest. The reason that we had to remove these tail lamps, there's actually two snap-in fasteners underneath those guys that we're going to remove first. We'll get those taken care of. Same thing on both sides. And then there's also some underneath the wheel well here. So let's get into that and get this show on the road. So first things first, right here up underneath this this tail lamp area, you can see these two fasteners on the bolts. So ignore the rivets for now. We don't need those. Those hold a brace underneath the bumper. Those will come off with it. But here over on this left side, you can see one here. And then on the right side, there's also a fastener here. So go ahead and pop those up and remove those. And just a tip for the wise, I figured this out after going through it. This is kind of a little more detail than you probably want. But these fasteners actually come out a little easier if you don't pull the inner pin all the way up. So he will come up, about 1/8 of an inch. If you pull him all the way up, it actually presses out the bottom of this a little bit more than it should be. So the easiest way is to don't go all the way up, about 3/4 of the way, and that actually gives you the most play at the bottom to get it out of the hole. But just some additional detail there you may not need. But get those two fasteners removed. Now we'll go work underneath the fender well here. Okay guys, now we're up here underneath the fender well area. I have a zoomed out version so that you can get a perspective. Also have a flashlight there for some light. But as I zoom in down here, what we're actually trying to target, so this is your inner splash panel here. That's held in place by also two additional fasteners. There's actually three. There's one in the rear that we don't need to mess with. But down here on the bottom, there'll be one there. I already have him removed. It's the same as those two fasteners that we just removed. You pull the center out and the rest of it will come with it. There's also one up here on the top that we'll want to remove that guy as well. If I look back, there's also one back here in the back around this area in the middle. We can actually leave him into place because what we're trying to access, there's a little nut right here. So I have my fasteners out of place. Try to not shake this camera too much so you can get a sense of what we're doing. So with those fasteners removed, these front two, you can actually take this inner fender well and kind of slide it outside the fender a little bit, and then he'll fold back out of your way. So you can see he's folding back out of my way. So let me grab my light. So now what we're actually trying to target, right there where the light is shining, there you go. You can see that bolt right there. So go ahead and that's what we're going to want to remove. So go ahead and pull that guy out. So there we go. I have him broke loose, and you can see that bolt will just come right out. So the upper bolt has now been removed. And if you want, some people even take the rear tire off. You don't have to. You're only trying to get to 2 bolts here. But if you feel like you're more comfortable with doing that, go for it. Now that the top one is out of the way, don't mind the shaking real quick, but I'm going to try to squeeze down here on the bottom side now. So coming down edge, bottom side. If you look up under here, right where the light is shining, it's kind of bright. But there's also one additional bolt on the bottom side of this fender here. So go ahead and remove that guy as well. And again, both of these are 10 millimeter bolts, one upper and one lower. So let's remove that guy. Okay, now, so we just got those 2 upper and lower bolts of the fender wells removed. Now there is one last push connector that we need to address. So this is where your license plate would be. Here's your rear tail light beside the exhaust. So if you go right up underneath this guy, right in the center, try to find it, there it is, right in the center, there's one other hole there, and that will be also be one more of those push connectors that fasten right into that guy right there. So go ahead and remove him as well, and then we'll jump back and recap and get the bumper removed. Okay, so quick recap where we're at in this removal of this bumper procedure here. So both tail lights out, 2 fasteners here removed, 2 fasteners as well as 2 bolts underneath the wheel well. Those have been removed. And then the 1 fastener right here in the center. And then the same thing on the other side, except for the center one, that's only 1. But same thing for the other side as well. Now at this point, the only thing left, let me move the camera with me. The only thing left, so right here at this interface with your upper body panel and then the rear bumper assembly here, there's 4 connectors on the inside of this joint. Same thing on the other side, but that's all that's left in order to get this guy removed. So again, I'm doing it with 1 person. I'm going to leave the other side connected. I also have some cardboard and a box that's about the height of the vehicle up underneath that side of the bumper so that it doesn't accidentally fall or something. But I'm going to work my way. I'll do these 4. Then I'll move everything over here to this other side to hold it up, and then do the other side as well. And get this bumper pulled off. The only thing you need to be careful of, once you get maybe 8 inches away from the body panel between the rear bumper, there will be the electrical connections for your rear view backup camera as well as your license plates lights. So just make sure, that's why you don't want the whole bumper to just fall over. You could, damage those electrical connections. So just keep that in mind. But I'm going to try and maybe zoom this camera out and just work through this. But that's all that's really left. 4 connectors here. You're going to pull towards the rear of the vehicle. Start on the outer edge. And then do the 2 that are on the inner side by the tail light. Work your way in there. Then jump over to the other side. That's basically it. So there you can see, it's already done. So those 4 pawl connectors have come loose. So I'm going to switch over to the other side and tack it there. So now I'm jumping over to the other side. Break those loose. And at that point, you can see this entire rear bumper assembly will kind of just break free. Now again, I'm doing this by myself. I have a box down here on the bottom to support it. And really, this is about as far as it's going to go. Let me try to bring the camera over here. This is about as far back as it'll go before these electrical connections start becoming stressed. Okay, so there you have it. Solo job. 1-man team here. But rear bumper has been removed successfully. Nothing damaged, nothing scratched. Electrical connectors are all still intact. But pretty straightforward, guys. Hopefully you're able to work your way through that. I showed you where all the connectors are and how to step through that. And with that knowledge, you should be able to just take your time, be careful, and work your way through it. But at this point, that's basically all it is. Installation will be opposite of removal. And again, it's now that all this is off, it's nice. It's been several years since it's probably actually never been taken off since I've owned the vehicle. But now I can clean all this up. You can see all this dirt and stuff that's built up in between here. You have your styrofoam impact shield here, so be careful with that. But all in all, that's the procedure, guys. I hope you're able to work your way through it. Please comment, subscribe, like if you do like it, whatever. But anyway, appreciate it, guys. Talk to you later.